Good evening, guys. Warm welcome to the program. Today, we are going to take up one job posting from a reputed multinational company. In fact, you will see a lot of difference between the organization who are in core manufacturing, organization who are in the hardware manufacturing, and the organization who are in the pure consultancy side. Maybe you will noticeably see a big difference when in the core manufacturing company they will put a lot of importance to domain knowledge, but when you come to other two industry like hardware or software companies or a consulting company, their focus is more on how to use the IT tools rather than the domain knowledge. So many times the people may feel I am not fitting into this role because I don't know this software, that software. But we cannot avoid that situation if you are looking for such a job in good companies. You need to get such a exposure. Also, there is no escape. So I am going to take one important job description from such a company where you feel IT tools are given more importance than the core domain knowledge in supply chain, but the title says different. Okay, let us go to the topic and see it. Let me share the screen. So I am doing this as a continuous process. Weekly two or three job descriptions will be there. This is to give an idea about the people who are looking for a job, especially if you are trying to move higher in the ladder or higher in the salary level. You need to understand how these different kind of employers looking for different kind of role in different organization. Before diving into the topic, let me briefly introduce myself. My name is Pattabhiraman. This is my Udemy profile. I have been recently entered in Udemy. I have over 1,000 candidates enrolled already. And this is my LinkedIn profile. I am searchable by Supply Chain Master. Coming to basic education, I am engineer with a PG degree in management and data science. I have nearly 2.5 decades working in this global organization. I started my career in Bosch as a planning executive and continued there for 15 years. I have been handling in various subdomains, mainly in supply chain at various level during my career. Last 8 to 10 years, I have been heading the supply chain in this organization. Currently, I am heading an organization known as Thoughtware Training Private Limited. Coming to my certification, hopefully you will recognize if you are a supply chain domain expert, you will know this certification, globally recognized certification from ASCM or APIX. If you are in the job market, this will definitely add value if people are employees are looking for core supply chain knowledge. Okay, there is one more organization called DDI Demand Driven Institute. They also offer similar globally recognized certification like Demand Driven Planner Professional, and I am also a certified purchasing manager and project management professional apart from qualified in analytics. Regarding our organization, we are based in Bangalore, 5-year-old organization. We provide both consulting and training in the field of supply chain and allied domains. One of our popular program globally is supply chain analytics. We are operating under a trade name called Expert SCM. Coming to today's job posting, I am going to discuss a specific posting from HP Bangalore. The title of the post is Service Supply Chain Spare Parts Management and Cost Analyst. Service spare parts planning is somewhat typical, unlike traditional product planning and management. Spare parts requires a special attention. In fact, the planning, forecasting, replenishment, everything is done in a different way in the spare parts market. This position, apart from the spare parts management, they are also looking for cost analyst. Means you should also have costing knowledge. So let us go through each one of this requirement in the coming slides and understand how much you know and what are the gaps so that you can fill the gap. Especially spare parts planning is very critical because the historical data may not truly reflect the future requirement, unlike the forecasting for the traditional products, where historical data gives a lot of projection. Here you need more analysis to give a projection for future requirement, and this is where we look into the contents, what exactly this employer is looking for. I have picked this job posting today, that is 16th March 2022, and it was posted 7 days ago. So this job is live in most of the job portal. Okay, coming to the basic detail, the position name is analyst. So I assume it's a junior position. Experience up to 5 years. Location is Bangalore. Qualification, they are not specific. They are talking about a graduate or advanced degree they are calling. Salary is not specified. Okay. Now let us go into the role scope, general overview. Responsible for service spare parts supply chain supporting multiple countries. This includes management of on-hand spare holding cost, focusing on optimization, excess and obsolescence and revaluation impact on the on-hand spare parts across various stocking location. So here the focus is more of a spare parts inventory management. Here there is no word about planning, so it's talking about inventory management. That's where we are going to talk about optimization, excess and obsolescence. So you should know how to classify this item as FSN analysis. Okay, fast, slow, and non-moving item. And you should also know various optimization method where you can do the optimization. In fact, this has to start with a good forecasting knowledge. When you talk about inventory optimization, the first step is having a good forecasting system or knowledge with a lower level of error. If any one of you watching live in any of the social media, you are welcome to type your comments. I am streaming this live in most of the social media like LinkedIn, Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter. If anyone is watching live, you are always welcome to type your comments or ask for doubts or clarification. Okay, this is for the people who are in the job market and specifically in supply chain domain where they are looking for enhancing their career. Okay, here there is also mention about budget and target for the inventory. Let us see the other details. As a responsibility, they are told responsible for spare parts costing and review of various cost parameters. So here you should have primary responsibility. This comes as a top most responsibility. So you should know various costing methods. Possibly, if this position involves buying the items from outside supplier, you should know various costing method, including ABC costing, or more recently, employees are looking for should cost method, though it's very old, but the Indian employers are now looking for such type of a costing material. So whatever item you procure, it should not be based on the lowest cost from three or four vendors. You should have an idea about what material you are going to purchase, what is material cost, labor cost, over cost, and you should have a rough idea even before you float for the quotation or inquiry. So this is the basic requirement. So generally, supply chain executives are not so much involved in costing, but this looks like a dual role because when you have the cost knowledge, you should also work with the vendors to find out what process they are doing so that you will get a better knowledge. Okay, taking quotation from three or four suppliers is a traditional way, but there you are not going to add value. But in fact, if you know the approximate cost or estimated cost of any item which you are procuring, it may not be only product, it could be service. You should know roughly what is the material cost, labor cost, and what is the prevailing market cost for such item. So that's the first requirement. Coming next, they are talking about responsible in analyzing and monitoring the operation, cross-functional collaboration on spare parts optimization, and here, so knowledge about analyzing and monitoring is required. So you need to know various analytical tools. For example, if the data is very big, maybe the number of records is more, then conventional Excel or macro or VBA may not be able to support. So analytical tool like SQL or Python or R is going to help. That's where analytical skill is expected. And once again, optimization is being talked here. So optimization is not a single word. You cannot just take a formula, substitute, and get an optimized result. You need lot of inputs from various supply chain partners, and also from the forecasting. Then only you can talk about optimization. In fact, inventory management starts with a better forecasting. If you want a better inventory control, it should start with better management. Now, availability for this position, they are specifically not mentioned anywhere in the job posting about the availability. So I am not sure whether customer service level or the fill rate is not important to this position is not clear. Then other things like partner with global countries related to spare parts management, gather operation and financial data to drive optimization. This looks more of a repetition from previous statement what we have seen in the earlier slides. Of course, those who are joining late, I am seeing a position from HP. They are talking about spare parts management, supply chain management, and cost analyst. A position called analyst up to 5 years experience. Okay, the next requirement is create a new operational efficiency, cost saving within supply chain, then independently execute demand and supply matching activity and interact with the global support function. So possibly you will see that the improvement cost saving is also one of the tasks, but the second statement is slightly conflicting for this position, because balancing a supply and demand should be a function of SNOP, which we have been discussing in our various process, sales and operation planning. But you can see this the requirement, they are talking independently execute the demand and supply matching activity. It is core SNOP activity, but still they expect this junior position to take care of this additional activity. For such a large organization, I can assume that this can be a alone SNOP alone can be a separate position. Okay, it's not easy to do for a supply chain management guy to directly involve in SNOP. Okay, for a large organization like this HP, next target they are talking about program management and project management. Possibly they are in the process of introducing lot of new products. Accordingly, one should manage the spare parts for those products. So you should have knowledge on both the program management and project management. You know, if you have several projects, it becomes program, and possibly a knowledge area from PMP or Project Management Institute may helpful. Okay, but they are not clearly specified any such qualification in the detail. They are also talking about leadership, contribute to priority project with complex analysis, and assist in developing recommendation. And you can see in the first statement, last wording typically requires the leadership of cross-functional and cross-regional team, possibly for 5 years experience candidate. They are looking for leadership ability to handle multiple cross-functional team and cross regional team. So this could also be a wish list. Okay, as we are seeing many of the job description from global organization, they dump their wish list in the JD and finally settle for a guy who may be 40 or 50% fit for the job. So it is always better for these employers to specifically write for this position. Preferable or non-essential can be avoided totally so that correct people can respond to this position. Next one, they are talking about software and tools required. They are talking about Excel, Access, Hyperion, experience with the software, BW reporting. So Hyperion is a Oracle software which delivers a comprehensive integrated suite of application featuring common web and MS Office interface reporting tools. It's like Power BI, okay, something similar. It's a reporting software. And coming to BW is nothing but SAP warehouse, business warehouse tool. So they are expecting all this tools knowledge. Normally, if you go into a manufacturing domain, they may not directly focus on this. Even if you are a supply chain analyst, they will focus more on basic analytical tools. But here you are seeing something more, and this profile more inclines towards more towards using the software tool rather than the greater supply chain domain knowledge. Okay, you will see further skills required. Here they are specifying a strong understanding of services, supply chain process, plan, source, make, deliver. This is one of the SCOR metrics, supply chain operation reference model. They have taken 4 out of 5 metrics. Okay, excellent analytical and data modeling skill, but whatever software they have asked in the earlier skill doesn't highlight this analytical and data modeling skill. For this, you need a different kind of analytical IT tools. Of course, there are a lot of soft skill like verbal, written communication skill, fluent in English, strong influencing skill, proven relationship skill. So here they have mentioned strong domain knowledge, analytical and data modeling. Then they have given continued with that skill required. They are basically talking about the Microsoft Excel skill. If it's a basic skill, I hope even now high school students will be using Excel at least up to intermediate level, Excel or PowerPoint. So I don't know specifically why they have to mention either basic Microsoft Excel skill. Of course, if they are talking about macro, VB, or additional add-in tools, then that is different. Strong management skill, yes, fine. Strong business acumen and technical knowledge. Good knowledge on spare parts inventory analysis. This is the core topic for this particular position, but it is hidden somewhere out of a lot of job description. The spare parts analysis, knowledge analysis is hidden somewhere inside lot of software tools which they are expecting the candidate to know. Otherwise, all these are different soft skill. And you can also see the final statement. They are looking for you to work in the different time zones. Many times I have seen specifically they ask for UK shift or US shift, that is fine, but not that people are expected to work in general shift but also attend to UK and US shift. I have seen many candidates complaining like that. So I request all such employers to be clear. You cannot expect the employees to work in a general shift and attend to UK or US shift requirement. It's a madness. Okay. So MS Access is also a basic. Power BI is more of a visualization tool. There is nothing analytical in that much. So I can grab some important skill for this position, which is hidden inside lot of skills, which is spare parts inventory analysis, which is a special skill. Okay, even for a person who is handling general product planning, fitting into the spare parts planning requires a specific knowledge about how is the spare parts movement happening, possibly in terms of better forecasting. It should start from there. Okay, coming to the critical skill, once again they have repeated SAP and spare parts management tool usage, deep knowledge with service spare parts management and costing, attention to detail, possess excellent clarity, and one specific thing which attracts attention is connect the dots with the operation and spend implication. So these are all seem to be a wish list for a very junior candidate. Coming to the summary, what when you have seen various previous slide, so they are looking for supply chain domain and costing language. Maybe this looks as a secondary in the job description, and most probably the people already working in some similar hardware or software company will be a direct fit. And if you are in the manufacturing domain, you may not focus mostly on this IT tool, because for you execution is important. Possibly you will use analytical tool to get some analysis, and then you have to go back to your operation and see how the improvement can happen. You cannot do implement any changes by using only the software tool. So that's the difference between manufacturing supply chain and supply chain in any similar hardware or software companies. Of course, for the namesake, analytical skills, SAP tools. My feeling about this position is no thrust is given to a practical supply chain. Spare parts planning is a core supply chain domain. You need people who are working in a spare parts should have faced day-to-day problem to understand what is happening really there, and the material availability, stockouts, or back order really matters. So this position they could have expected people having core domain knowledge, but it seems their focus is more of a IT tool. By chance, if any one of you from HP who is looking into this video, I would like to interact with you. If you would like to give any comment on this inventory management and planning, it all looks like a output of managing the software tools. Okay, it should not be like that. You have to manage supply chain domain by using necessary IT tool and not reverse vice versa. So you may feel that this type of company may be operating in a different format, which may or may not be effective. Okay, they are not talking about forecasting, they are not talking about availability, CSL fill rate. So the candidate who are in the manufacturing willing to apply for this job, you have to upskill yourself with all the tools what they are saying, which may not be available in your current organization. Of course, we are here if you want to learn basic supply chain analytical school tools, we are here to supply. So my general feeling is more dependability on software tool rather than the core domain knowledge, which we cannot avoid. If you are looking for a job in this type of company, which are global organization, you need to upskill in from a multiple direction and equip yourself. If you need any support, anything is required, I am available. You can reach out to me or our executives in this WhatsApp number. Meanwhile, many people are watching live from different medias. If any one of you have any doubts or clarification, you are always welcome to type in LinkedIn comments. Anyone, any doubts, any questions? we have artificially built a barrier between these type of organization like manufacturing, software, consulting organization, and maybe it cannot be interchangeable with this kind of specification what we see here, but it should be universal. A person in a software should be able to go and work in manufacturing industry or vice versa, but the job description what we are seeing today in not only in HP, there are many companies which does not reflect that. Now, the focus here for such organization is more on IT tools, 70%, 80%, and lower 20 or 30% focus on domain knowledge or practical working experience, or even for that matter, even a fixed certification is not expected. So you can expect the work profile can be different in this type of environment. So if there are no questions, we can conclude this session. Thanks for watching. Have a nice evening. Bye.